Ta-ta, class 2, on to the last week now before a week off of learning, which would have been our half term, which we would have all been looking forward to if we were in school. Things are a little bit different now, aren't they? But I'm sure you'll still have a lovely, lovely week with mummies and daddies. So this week's story is going to be Somebody Swallowed Stanley. And if you look closely, what do you think Stanley is? Let's find out. Stanley swept into the sea with a splash and a splish. Perhaps he's one of us, thought the other jellyfish. But his stripes were too straight and his tentacles too few. He just floated in the sea, not sure what to do. You see, Stanley was no ordinary jellyfish. How do you think he got to the sea? Who do you think put him there? Then something terrible happened. Somebody swallowed Stanley. But who could it be? Her tongue was as rough as barnacles, her mouth vast as a cave. As she hammered her low song, Stanley tried to be brave. So who had swallowed Stanley? The creature stopped singing as Stanley slid down her slimy throat and coughed as she spluttered, and then whoosh! With a rush and a rumble, steam burst from his spout. A whale had swallowed Stanley, but now he was out. Oh dear. Poor Stanley. Stanley dropped with a splash back into the sea, where he bobbed along gently, calm and carefree. Until something terrible happened. Somebody swallowed Stanley. But who could it be? With a sharp yellow beak and a small beady eye, the creature flapped his wings and rose up into the sky. But who swallowed Stanley? He pecked and then snapped and he nipped, but Stanley wouldn't go down. Oh. More creatures flew over, first 2 and then 3. In all the flapping and squawking, they let Stanley be. A seagull had swallowed Stanley, but now he was free. Poor old Stanley was ripped up, scruffy and torn. He sank and he sank and he sank down some more. But something terrible happened before he reached the sea floor. What do you think happened to Stanley? Before he hit that floor, he's going down and down and down. What do you think happened? How do you think he's feeling? Oh, look at his facial expressions. Somebody swallowed Stanley again. But who could it be? Her paddle-shaped flippers skimmed the seabed. She had a beautiful shell and a small wrinkly head. So who had swallowed Stanley? Listen to the description again and see if you can guess. Her paddle-shaped flippers skimmed the seabed. She had a beautiful shell and a small wrinkly head. She gasped and she spluttered, then started to choke too. But Stanley was stuck, without much he could do. A turtle had swallowed Stanley. The creature was scared and swam quickly to shore, with Stanley stuck in her throat. She couldn't breathe anymore. Oh dear. The turtle closed her eyes and lay down in the sand. But then Stanley heard footsteps. Help was at hand. A kind boy on the beach came and tugged Stanley free. But then Stanley heard, "Plastic bags don't belong in the ocean blue. Creatures think you're a jellyfish and will swallow you." Now with a rope and a branch, he'd made something new. Right, Miss Nixon's going to stop. Because one of your activities is going to be to have a think what that little boy might have done with Stanley. What did he do? So he had a bag and he had a stick. And you need to, for one of your activities, find a plastic bag and a stick on one of your daily walks. See if you can make something using those two materials. What would you make? And do you think that Stanley might have made the same thing? I cannot wait to see what sorts of things you guys use. Use your imagination, be really creative, and I cannot wait to see them. Class 2, keep up your amazing learning. We're now halfway through our summer term, halfway through learning about Under the Sea, and I am just so proud. I'm really proud of all of the learning you've done and all of the support your mummies and daddies have given you. So keep it up. You are the best class in Glenboy, and I am beaming with smiles every day watching you learning. So I'll speak to you again soon.